I'm so honored to be a part of a cannabis culture in New Jersey. It's really something I never thought I'd be a part of after leaving for 20 years to
Mm.
pursue this dream. Because it was so hot. I would think we used the term hot back then, and I couldn't even drive in a car because I have dreadlocks like you. So I couldn't even drive in a car back then without being pulled out of a car for
Huh.
cannabis. So like being home with my parents being older, it's a real blessing, and to be creating a standard in a place where there was none, and to bring in culture together with community and music to break the barriers and bridges and stigmas has been a real honor and something I'm couldn't be more grateful for.
I think those of us who are connected in some way to the cannabis community, at least let me just say, I'll speak for myself. It has been overwhelmingly interesting to see a complete shift in some ways from a very secretive and underground culture to one that is much more vibrant and above ground in some powerful ways. And your connection to this industry, I was very curious about because you actually have a very personal connection vis-a-vis your cousin, who, as I mentioned just a moment ago, had a battle with cancer. Talk to us about how that entry point led you to who you are today, someone who has been a really powerful advocate for cannabis cultures, particularly in the state of New Jersey.
I would say before that point, I was more of a recreational person. Uh, I used it to, you know, be with my friends making music, or
Mm.
go to a music show and relax and take away some of the, like a lot of people use it. But after I saw my cousin battling cancer in the last couple of weeks of his life, he was on opiates and he didn't even recognize me. Um,
Mm.
and he was like an older brother to me. Um, it changed my life forever. And I started to seek out information of anything. I was looking for anything that could be the answer to have anybody's family not go through the feeling I felt.
Wow.
And that time, it was a long time ago, and there was a thing called RSO oil, Rick Simpson oil, that was up in Canada. That this man helped so many people, and they even arrested him over it, and he helped people for free. Um, and that really changed everything for me, knowing and seeking out that medicine, and then trying to learn how to make that medicine and trying to help people from there. um, my career went from a hustler from, I started with Mexican weed in the 90s, and then it went to like the Canadian beasters, and then high grades came, and then there was the blueberries and the northern lights and the Afghanis, and then all of a sudden Piff and Sour Diesel got here, and the world changed forever.
Mm. So you're not, as somebody who had I mean, there's a weird echo. I don't know if we can, okay. You're not just somebody who recreationally saw someone close to you struggling with it. You have really sort of taken your experience as a user and as someone who is a part of the culture to help, I don't want to say rebrand the culture, but to help broaden it out and help it to elevate beyond the underground scene. And you've done a lot of that work with this group called, or this entity known as Honey Projects. What is Honey Projects for those who are not familiar, and how has that been sort of a natural stepping stone for you on your path down this journey,
Well,
or on your
Honey
journey
Project,
down this path? my
I would
entire
say
my
that
entire sentence was flipped around. Your journey down this path.
I would say that Honey Projects are my partners and and it's the first time I've ever actually had support in my entire life, and I couldn't be more grateful for the people that I've partnered with, because
Mm.
they allow us to be true to what we're doing and work with conscious people and work with companies that have values and standards. Nothing on our shelves is goes through a remediation machine, and for those who don't know what that is, that's a machine that will take molds away, and like, we just don't want products that have molds to begin with. And if they do go through that machine, they should at least put it on the package. These states make us go through so many regulations, but they don't want to put that on the package. So there's a real strange reason for that. And
Mm.
they should look into that a little deeper. Um, Also, like, we're bridging community, culture, music on for 420, 419 Cypress Hill. We were so blessed. Shout out to Cypress Hill, everyone in that group. I love you guys. They came out and blessed us. It was the best day of my whole life. I got to go to Hard Rock Cafe. I mean, Hard Rock and AC, and pick them up. and hear amazing stories coming back to my store. And it was a dream come true coming to my store, and there was a line around the block, and these guys uh, met with everyone that came, and everyone was so excited to see them. And we had a car show, and DJ Lord Sear, shout out DJ Lord Sear from your network, from your platform.
Yep.
He was out there spinning, and there was a car show, and cars were jumping up and down like a 1992 music. It was like the most amazing experience of my whole life, and something I never thought possible as a kid in cannabis. And now, somebody who had to hide his whole life. And like you said before, like I really had to do that. And the people we had to work with, we had to really trust them because our life was on the line as well and our well-being, and we could have gone to jail. And so like to be in front of a camera now that's the most wild thing to me to begin with. And then to be able to stand up like Cypress Hill did, they stood up for this forever, to be able to do that and honor that, because that's not all they stand up. We need to stand up for other things too. This is just a start for that,
So what's interesting about this, one of the things that's interesting about this for me is that you are somebody who phenotypically, and I don't know what your actual background is, but you look to the average person like a white man, and yes, a white man with dreadlocks, but that is how you phenotypically present. And to hear you articulate the concerns that you had about your own safety and participating in this culture and being able to do so without getting pulled over and being able to do so in ways that were going to minimize your exposure to the state, it's a real reminder, I think, for other people that, one, the pressures against the community of cannabis participants, those who are affiliated or just supporters, the ways in which they have had to sort of exist in the shadows has been really a significant part of the story. And there is a real, I think, appreciation for the movement that is allowing for people to come above ground in ways that allow them to be free participants of the culture, age appropriate, of course, but free participants of the culture in ways that I think can have a much more unifying effect. You are considered the chief cannabis officer at the Honey Grove entity, and you guys have a number of locations. Talk to us about your journey from user to advocate, someone who is seeking medicinal support for people that you love and for other families, to now someone who is in the entrepreneurship space and seemingly doing pretty well with a variety of locations throughout the state of New Jersey.
I would say that it's something I never really thought was possible, and I'm trying to lead the way for others like myself who belong here, that you can do this and it is possible, and you're not gonna it's not like you're gonna be flooded in money, but if you really have a passion for this, you could actually change the whole game, like I am, to have a standard where you care what's on your shelves instead of having products that are sprayed with pesticides. And smoking things isn't great for you. So you got to at least put the organic things that people have passionately took time to craft into your body. And being an entrepreneur in New Jersey, like I said, I hid in the woods for most of my life. So this isn't something that I even expected. So I'm trying to be the best version of myself in this moment, not compete against any of these other people here, but compete against ourselves to be better every day and to have better standards and treat our staff better every day, so that reflects into the community, because we love our staff. We don't have people coming in and out. We're trying to create family here. We're trying to create people to build up with us in this company. And they're all talented, amazing musicians and artists and creative humans and passionate humans. And it's just, that's been one of the coolest things too, is being a part of creating a safe space, and that's coming out into the community.
Can we talk a little bit about something you've mentioned a few times, the pesticides and the chemicals that often go into growing the flower? We had an interview. It hasn't aired yet, Urban View, so don't worry, you didn't miss it. It's going to air later this month when I'm traveling. And one of the conversations we had was with someone who was talking about the overwhelming number of chemicals that are in everyday products that we use, products that we put on our bodies. Yes, of course, we understand that concept in terms of products that we consume within, but they were talking specifically about products that we put on our body, grooming products, cosmetics products. And we don't often think about cannabis as also being exposed to a lot of chemicals and pesticides and other things that make definitely the burning of cannabis and inhaling into your lungs that much more dangerous.
Right.
But even for edibles and people who are consuming
Yep.
cannabis as a more as a product for internal consumption, be it a tincture for externally, what have you, talk to us a little bit about the concerns that we should actually explore a bit more. Those who are part of this community when it comes to the way in which these flowers are actually grown.
So I think that's one of our biggest things, the education and getting to nothing on our shelves. I go to every single cultivation, and being somebody who cultivated almost 20 years, I really could see what's going on. If they don't let me in there, I already know what's going on, so they don't have a chance.
Hmm.
And it's like pesticides are, some of them are okay before certain weeks, right? So flowers are growing, and before certain weeks, some of them are okay. But after a certain point, they aren't. And you should really always be using organic things that aren't bad for us anyway.
Hmm.
There's tons of stuff people could use that are organic and will not harm us regardless. And if they're not using that, it's just like they're undereducated as well.
Hmm.
And there's that. The problem is a lot of the people here doing this weren't hiding in the woods half their life and really didn't do it that long. And they not everybody uh, left and went to California, Maine, Oregon, or if they did do it here, they did it in a closet, and
Hmm.
they didn't do it on scale. And then they told a company, "I know how to grow," and then they're on scale, and
Then
we
they
have
got
a lot of problems.
investors and hedge funds, and then it
But
takes
it's a
on a
real,
corporate entity.
we like you said, from this the whole country needs to really start caring about what's going into our bodies, from the chemicals on our shampoo to the soaps to the drinks that are to the all these chemicals and the candy they're giving the kids. Like, it's banned in other countries. Why don't they care about banning it here?
Wait, this is going to blow your mind and the audience's mind. And y'all, again, you're going to hear this full conversation at the end of this month. But we learned in the course of my interview with this other guest that the European Union, over the course of the past 20 years, they have banned over 2,500 different chemicals from their food. In the same time span, America has banned 16.
Right.
And I spent a lot of my childhood outside of the country, so I remember what it was like realizing that the Big Macs, the French fries, the sizes of them alone in Germany as compared to here, completely different. The taste of these things was different. It was wild.
So I used to be 400 pounds. I used to eat those Big Macs. I used to eat that candy. I know from
Mm.
my own experience that I wouldn't be here leading these people if I didn't start loving myself and stop putting those chemicals in my body. So I know almost more than anybody the poisons that it does to you, and then the poisons it does to your thinking.
That's right.
And the true trick to success is just being a little better every day and loving yourself. If you do that just a little bit every day, you're going to eventually be who you want, where you want, just like me, living in your dreams.
Mm. There's nothing better than living in one's dreams, particularly when the dreams got started in a way that perhaps was less desirable, right? But when you do the work of becoming a better person and then thinking about how you take that sort of value system into a space like cannabis, that matters a lot. That matters a lot. Now, you all at the Honey Projects, you've got Honey Projects and you've got Honey Stash. There's a variety of components to this effort. You have 3 locations in New Jersey. For people who want to either visit, and then I didn't get a chance to set up my cannabis tour this year. I'd said I was going to try to do one over the course of the summer, but life has been lifing. But I do have Honey Stash and Honey Grove on my list of entities that I want to visit when I launch my cannabis tour. That may have to be a 2026 venture, Amina. We'll start in the spring and we'll just do a tour of the cannabis entities we can find. But for folks who want to follow you, who want to learn more, and particularly those who want a healthier version of cannabis. They really don't want those chemicals. They really do want to have as clean of an experience as possible. What is the best way for them to connect with you all, to learn about your approach to things, and support the work that you're doing?
I would say come to Honey Grove on July 27th. We have a Grateful Dead cover band, Crickets and Cicadas. It's going to be a great time.
It's a great name.
I would say that's a great event to come to. And then August 2nd at Honey Stash, we have a album release party for this beautiful young kid, Cisco. And we're going to have some DJs and some music and food at both events. You can follow us at Honey Grove NJ or Honey Stash NJ Big Dave Honey, and we will have the best organic craft cannabis. We do care about everything, and we care about you because we care about what we're putting in our body. So we care about what you're putting in your body.
I love it. Yeah, we're gonna have to. I got y'all on the list. I'm excited about it. I've got folks who live on indigenous reservations. They have cannabis dispensaries. They're on my list out in Long Island. I've got you all on the list. I've got a variety of Black-owned cannabis dispensaries. I'm very excited about the proliferation of this entity of this I shouldn't call it enterprise of this movement. I'm going to call it a movement because it really isn't one of those spaces that has been so corporatized that we forget that people really were advocating for this sort of embracing of the plant, of the culture. And for those of you who are listening who say, there she go talking about that devil's lettuce again, just remember, friends, the only reason it was illegal in the first place was for racialized reasons, to ensure that Mexican community members would not have access to their indigenous medicine and plants. And it has been really functioning well to keep people incarcerated who did not need to be there. And so thank you, Big Dave. We appreciate you for giving us some time, and best of luck to Honey Stash and all the Honey Grove. Y'all got a lot of honey things happening, and I'm looking forward to making my way down to your locations. Thanks for being with us.
Gratitude.
Appreciate you. Take care. Take care.